Maryland, Big Liz and the Greenbrier Swamp. During the Civil War, Big Liz, a very large woman, was a slave who became a spy for the Union troops. But her espionage was found out by her master, who decided to exact revenge. As the urban legend goes, he took Big Liz to Greenbrier Swamp so she could help him bury a treasure. Big Liz dug the hole, and was subsequently decapitated by her evil master, who threw her body into the grave she had just unwittingly dug for herself. It is said that if you travel to that spot during the dead of night, you will see her spirit there, attempting to lure you into the murky swamp. Massachusetts, the ghost of Sheriff George Corwin. When you think of haunted locales in the United States, Salem is no doubt one of the top places that comes to mind. A key character in the Salem witch trials, Sheriff Corwin was the most infamous and brutal when it came to interrogating and handling accused witches, earning himself the nickname the Strangler for his torturous methods. A building called the Joshua Ward House now stands on top of the land where Corwin lived and died, and many people say that they've seen him in the windows or even felt his hands pressing down around their necks when they're inside the space. Michigan, the Nain Rouge. This is one of the urban legends still recognized today. It is celebrated by the people of Detroit every year. They say that there is a devilish creature, known as the Nain Rouge, French for Red Dwarf, who causes mayhem in the city. He is thought to be seen when disaster is about to strike and is even said to be the reason for the Cadillac Company's downfall in the city. Minnesota, the Wendigo. The Wendigo is a creature of Native American folklore that is thought to be the result of cannibalism. A person will turn into a Wendigo, a fawn-bearing creature that is tall, skeletal, and hairy, if they resort to eating another human being. Will you fall prey to the glowing eyes and snake-like tongue of the Wendigo? Mississippi, the Witch of Yazoo. While living on the Yazoo River, an old woman allegedly lured boatsmen to their deaths with her magic. One day, the local sheriff chased her into a swamp, and as she drowned in quicksand, she put a curse upon the town. In 20 years, she said, she would return to set the city aflame. Eerily, in 1904 the city was hit with a massive fire, believed to be the work of the witch. The next day when people went to visit her grave at the Glenwood Cemetery, they saw that the chain links around her grave had been broken. Or so the urban legend goes. Missouri, the Landers Theater. The Landers Theater in Springfield is supposedly beyond haunted. From fires to stabbings to accidental deaths, this theater has seen it all. Locals and performers have alleged that they've seen the ghosts of the people believed to have perished there, including the janitor that was said to have died during a 1920 fire. Montana, the haunting of Chico Hot Springs Hotel. The mysterious lady in white supposedly roams the corridors of the Chico Hot Springs Hotel in prey, scaring guests and staff members. People have reportedly seen the ghost of a woman in white, many times leading them into room 349, only to find an empty rocking chair swaying back and forth. Her rocking chair is sometimes found in other rooms as well, always facing the window, no matter the position the last person left it in. Nebraska, the Hatchet House. The legend of the Hatchet House of Portal reminds us of those scary ghost stories we used to tell each other at camp. As the legend goes, a school teacher from long ago went insane and decapitated all of her students in the one-room schoolhouse. Afterward, she placed their heads on their respective desks and took all of their hearts to a nearby bridge. She threw the organs into the water, and people say you can still hear the hearts beating if you cross it, hence its name Heartbeat Bridge. Nevada, the aliens at Area 51. Publicly known as the place where the military tests out some of its most advanced weapons and technology, conspiracy theorists suspect that it's also where the U.S. government stashes the UFOs it doesn't want us knowing about. New Hampshire, the legend of Chocorua. Mount Chocorua was named after a Native American chief who lived in the early 1700s. Legend has it that he left his son with the Campbell family while he went away on tribal business. While under the family's car, his son died, perhaps accidentally, perhaps not. To exact revenge, Chief Chikorua killed the man's wife and children. Then the surviving Campbell chased Chikorua to the top of a mountain and shot him dead, but not before the chief had placed a terrible curse upon the land. It is said that the land, now known as Chikorua Lake Conservancy, will inflict suffering and death on anyone who tries to live there or drink from its rivers. New Jersey, the ghost boy of Clinton Road. The ghost of a young boy is said to reside beneath one of the bridges on this road in Passaic County in northern New Jersey. As the legend goes, he's quite helpful, not to mention honest. If you drop a coin into the water, he will return it to you within 24 hours. It has become a rite of passage for local teens to go test it out. New Mexico, UFO crash at Roswell. In 1947, something big, really big, crashed on a ranch northwest of Roswell. Members of the U.S. military quickly came to retrieve the debris, which led some to believe that it was something they wanted to cover up, a UFO, perhaps? Adding to the mystery, Jesse Marcel, Jr., son of one of the military officers charged with clearing the site, later described the debris he saw his father bring home as being made of lead foil with I-beams. According to Roswell UFO Museum, he recalled the writing on the I-beams as purple. Strange. Never saw anything like it, different geometric shapes, leaves and circles. The U.S. government maintains it was a weather balloon that crashed. New York, the legend of Cropsey. Staten Island's Cropsey has been a local legend for decades, and gained national attention when the documentary of the same name was released. The story goes that Cropsey had a hook for a hand and was a patient at the Willowbrook State School. He would come out late at night to hunt and chase local kids with his hook hand. In truth, a series of child murders did take place in that area of Staten Island in the 1970s and 1980s. North Carolina, the Beast of Bladensboro. Many regions in the United States have their own urban legends of a story about a mutant creature in the woods who kills viciously and indiscriminately. In North Carolina, it's the Beast of Bladensboro, described by locals as a panther-like, bloodthirsty killer lurking in the darkness. It is said to have attacked numerous dogs and even people. North Dakota, the Mini-Washatu. Next time you're on the banks of the Missouri River in North Dakota, keep an eye out for the Mini-Washatu of North Dakota, a giant, red, hairy monster with sharp spikes along its back, a horn, and only one eye. If you look at it, blindness, insanity, and death are said to soon follow. Ohio, Gore Orphanage. In the 1800s, there was a deadly fire at the aptly named Gore Orphanage in Lorain County. Tragically, every single orphan in the institution perished. Locals say if you visit the site where the orphanage stood, you can still see the ghosts of the dead children, hear them playing, or smell their burning flesh. Oklahoma, Shaman's Portal. Also called Oklahoma's Bermuda Triangle, people have allegedly disappeared into thin air upon setting foot in these dunes in Beaver Sands. It's believed that a UFO crashed here, opening a door to another world. Oregon, the Bandage Man. The ghost of a man who was supposedly chopped into bits at a sawmill terrifies Oregon residents to this day. They call him the Bandage Man because, well, his entire body is wrapped in bloody bandages. Mostly, he is said to attack people who drive through or park their cars in Cannon Beach. Pennsylvania, Eastern State Penitentiary. The Eastern State Penitentiary of Pennsylvania is a real place that was shut down due to its exceptional cruelty towards inmates. Each cell and chamber has its own set of hauntings and terrible tales, and walking through it is supposed to feel like walking through the pit of hell itself. If you're the type who likes to experience the macabre, you can take a tour on Halloween, but you must sign a liability waiver before entering. Rhode Island, Fingernail Freddy. If this sounds familiar, it's because the Rhode Island legend of Fingernail Freddy is supposedly the inspiration for the Nightmare on Elm Street. In this version, Fingernail Freddy is a wild woodsman with insanely long fingernails who comes out at night to attack campers with his talons. South Carolina, the legend of Lavinia Fisher. Known as America's first female serial killer, Lavinia Fisher was certainly not dainty about her kills. In the 1800s, she and her husband John ran an inn, where they had the unfortunate habit of killing off many of their guests. They would poison their guests, then when the poor person had fallen asleep, drop them down a trapdoor. One victim managed to escape and the two were found out, resulting in their execution. People say that the ghost of Lavinia Fisher haunts the Charleston jail where she was executed.